Hello, Troy White with Hoodoo Financial, and today we're doing a crypto economic update. I just want to talk about the outlook going forward for 2022. Uh, First thing to consider is that the Federal Reserve is facing exceptionally high inflation, and this may ultimately favor Bitcoin. Crypto assets are still the most popular for speculators as a risky asset. Obviously, speculators want to invest in high risk assets because high risk, high potential rewards. Bitcoin, however, is transitioning into becoming more of the world's digital reserve asset, and I expect Bitcoin and Ethereum to maintain dominance in 2022, pretty much the same way they did in 2021. And but in 2021, the top up and comers, probably a Bitcoin, Binance Coin and Solana. But Bitcoin and Ethereum have solid bases to build upon. So remember in 2021, there was a lot of volatility in both Bitcoin and Ethereum, but that created price supports in 2021, which are about 30,000 for Bitcoin and about 2,000 for Ethereum. So even in bad times, that's a great price for both of those, which leads to more buying, and the cycle continues. So, but those price supports appear solid for 20 moving forward for 2022, and I expect those top two to remain the top two dominant cryptocurrencies and advancing in 2022. What I think is more possible is Bitcoin heading towards 100,000 per coin, and Ethereum finally breaching that $5,000 resistance level that it seemed to have. And key factor though is the Federal Reserve. It's facing the greatest inflation in 4 decades, and so it is very likely to begin raising interest rates. And I think I've already seen they've indicated they're going to raise at least 2 times next year, and or this year. Since Bitcoin is becoming the global reserve asset, it's going to be the primary beneficiary in this scenario. Cash is going to need to find somewhere to run to. It's going to run to Bitcoin, and so I think Bitcoin may gain the upper hand over stocks in 2022, and the expectations that the Federal Reserve is going to have rate hikes may support a win-win scenario for Bitcoin and stocks, the stock market for 2022. So I think both are going to do well. Since it has no supply elasticity. And this is being the early adoption period, really. This favors the upward bias towards Bitcoin's price. If the rules of economics, apply, and things economics remains how it's been for the last 1,000 years. So yet, even with that said, Bitcoin is still, digital assets in general are the highest in volatility, but I still expect Bitcoin to come out ahead in terms of people trying to preserve their dollars in relation to bonds and gold. So I think Bitcoin is going to come out ahead of bonds and gold in 2022. Even though it's got the highest volatility among the three. So I think we've seen the peaks for the meme coins, Dogecoin and Shibu Inu, and what I realize is the peaks of those two coincide with similar market highs, and that's kind of shows you that crypto is one of the leading indicators, or is one of the indicators. Uh, these meme coins are going up because as the same as speculation as the general market. People just want to get their dollars in. Another thing that says to me um, uh, is that people are comfortable enough to invest in cryptocurrencies, in that I don't think you can consider it an alternative asset as much as you used to be able to. Uh, uh, it's I think it's an essential asset at this point. And so Bitcoin withstood an unprecedented plunge in the market, and then a uh, subsequent recovery into 2021. So that's showing you that its price foundation is going to be strong, is there for 2022. And I think that when it drove down from Bitcoin from 660 some thousand down to 30 some thousand, that supports the view that in the future it's going to rise in those 10 times increments. And I think the same is going to be true, not the same, but a similar type of rise for Ethereum. But expect Bitcoin to jump in 10,000 at a time at some point, with ultimately approaching maybe 100,000 by the end of the year. So that's my thoughts. Another thing, you should consider including cryptocurrencies as part of your retirement portfolios going forward, especially since we're still in the early adoption stages. And I think you will gain that bang for your buck when retirement time approaches. Of course, depending on your current age and circumstances, but I think that's something you need to consider. And and I'll cut it there. Thanks for listening. If you need my help with anything, I'll include my contact information in the description or link below. Click below somewhere. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Holla.